News for New York presents Positively Black.
Look at me. Hey.
Raymond, look at mommy.
Maybe the light hurts his eyes.
Maybe she's just not hungry. Maybe he can't hear us. Maybe we're not stimulating him enough. Maybe it's a phase.
Now you're looking at a clip from a new public service campaign describing the early signs of autism in children. It's specifically targeting African American and Hispanic parents. Autism is the fastest growing developmental disorder in the U.S., and the CDC says children in those groups are diagnosed with autism later than the general public. That ad campaign hoping to change all of that. Leotae Blacknor is raising a son with autism. We're also joined today by Michael Rosanoff of Autism Speaks, the group that is introducing that ad campaign. Pretty big initiative you have here, Michael. I'm wondering how this all came about.
Well, thank you for having us here. You know, autism does not discriminate by race or socioeconomic status, and what we see is that children with autism from Latino and African American backgrounds are being diagnosed generally later than the general public, and that's a huge problem, especially when we're trying to get diagnosis earlier and services in the hands of these children and these families earlier.
And Leotae, you're raising a gorgeous child with autism. I'm
Yes.
wondering if you can go back to when you first got that diagnosis and how you have come to accept it and how more parents should do the same.
We got the diagnosis a little bit under his second birthday.
Okay.
He was about 22 months old, but there were some really telltale signs. He wasn't pointing, he wasn't making sounds that really we thought he should be making in terms of words. There was very minimal eye contact, and so we decided to have him evaluated. So I just want to stress that, you know, early intervention is extremely, extremely important.
And guys, both of you, so many times this is dismissed as bad behavior in kids, or kids that just, or, you know, taking more time for this, especially in this community. Breaking down barriers, I'm imagining a big deal for you.
I'm so happy you brought that up.
Yeah.
You know, what happens is every minute that passes when a child might have autism is a minute lost for getting services. So what the Maybe campaign tries to do is put families in real life situations and see what some of these early warning signs might be. The parents respond, maybe it's this, maybe the child doesn't like bright lights, but maybe is enough to have a concern.
And let's go through some of those early signs. You say as early as 6 months. What are some of the things you can notice?
Lack of sharing of behaviors, of facial expressions, and you can see that sometimes at about 9 months. Also, the lack of big, joyful smiles and expressions at about 6 months, and then the lack of babbling at about 12 months, the lack of words at 16 months.
The most profound was the lack of language, and you know, at 2 years old, we felt like there should be, you know, just babbling, baba, or, you know, juice, mom, dad.
The recognition.
And you know, just the lack of pointing. Also, there were some deficits on the socialization of being aware of your surroundings.
Right.
Early intervention was the key for my son Damon to really make the milestones that he's getting now.
How is Damon doing now?
He is wonderful. He is a 6-year-old loving boy, and he's in an amazing school, the Manhattan Children's Center, where he's getting that one-to-one support. But you know, I encourage parents to really, if you don't know, if you're not sure, Autism Speaks does a wonderful job informing people of all the resources that are out there.
And we should mention that website, autismspeaks.org. Michael, Leotae, thank you so much for being here.
Thank you for having us.
This has been a public affairs presentation from NBC for New York. Positively Black.